Hi, hello, happy Wednesday. I hope you're doing well. So I figured I'd quickly give you an update. Still reading Clara and the Sun. Didn't finish it yesterday as I initially hoped, but maybe I can finish it today. I'm on page 200 right now. This is how far I am, which leaves, yes, still a nice good old chunk of the book, but it's like 140 pages. So I'm like, do I just sit now and try and read it? This book is difficult to get through. I find myself wanting to skip over some parts. I understand the whole point is the detailed orientedness of it, but at the same time I'm just like, kind of get to the point here, my guy. Like, I'm all for details, I'm all for like everything, but I really enjoyed when a book does detail in a thoughtful way. Not that this isn't thoughtful, it just seems like a lot of dumping of details to continuously cement the fact that Clara is very detail oriented. She's curious, and I really love the characters in this. I think they're really interesting. The writing is a little heavy to get through, and I do find myself skipping over some lines and, you know, just trying to get the gist of a paragraph. Anyways, I am working from home tomorrow, so if I don't finish this today, I will finish it tomorrow, and then I can read more of Crescent City and probably start maybe Spin the Dawn, I'm thinking, or maybe something else. But for now, I'm gonna sit back, relax, and read before I have company, which is my boyfriend. Hi, hello, happy Thursday. I am working from home today. I'm hoping to take you on a journey with me throughout the day. Well, I need to go and grab some things. I need to go buy some stuff. I will do that a bit later. In the mornings, traffic around my area is actually kind of insane. But what I'm going to be doing this morning is taking like these things, making them into this so that they are ready to be laminated and then recut. I know it seems like a lot of work, but it's like very calming for me personally. So I don't mind all too much. So I'm gonna do that, and then a little bit of a reading update. I finished Cutting the Sun yesterday. It kind of got to the point where it's like you either finish it now or you just never finish it kind of situation. And I gave it 3 stars. I thought the book was good. I think in what it was trying to do, I didn't see that. Like, it's trying to show how complicated the human heart is. And yes, I do think that comes through, but maybe not as strong as what the publisher and the author maybe perhaps hoped it would, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. I gave it 3 stars. When I initially did it on Copilot, it came out at a 4, and I was like, it doesn't really feel like a 4 to me. Like, I enjoyed what I read, but it wasn't mind-blowingly good as much as I thought it would be. So 3 stars is what I gave this. Then today, I do plan on reading some more, but I don't know what I'm gonna read. So I can read further in Crescent City, which I really do need to do. I'm on page 250. I kind of want to try and finish it in the next week or so. Probably divvy up those pages to read about 50 pages a day and just get it done and dusted. Then I have these 3 options. So this is Spin the Dawn. This is from last month. I don't think I'm going to read the other books that were part of the selection as of yet. I'm gonna put those back on the shelf for now. I don't really feel drawn to those. I'm gonna give this a go and read it the first couple of pages. If I'm not drawn to this, I'll just put it back. And then I have these 2. This I'm reading as a buddy read, so I need to discuss when we're gonna start with this. I do want to start sooner rather than later, simply because I have another buddy read happening at the end of the month, and then I have a book that I need to be reading throughout the week as well with work colleagues. And then this one is obviously just a cute little Afrikaans book. It's got some illustrations throughout. It looks cute, okay? I need to read this. This is like a collection of short stories. I will play this by ear and see how much I read. Ideally, I want to read about 50-ish pages of this a day, because there's only, it would take me like 3 days to finish if I don't read it in one go, which maybe I will, maybe I won't, I'm not too sure. But I do want to start off with reading about 50 pages of this, and then yeah, we'll start off with reading 50 pages of that. So that's the plan at the moment. Today I'm going to be doing a lot of cutting. I'm going to be watching Chicago Fire. I'm almost done with season 1, and then I'm going to do the shopping, and what else? I need to do some laminating, some attachment to Dell sticks. So today's going to be a lot of finicky things, I guess is what I'm getting at. And I still need to do my bullet journal spread for June. I've like done the prep for it. I just need to actually finish it up. That is the update I have for you right now. Hi, hello. So I have just gotten back from like shopping around essentially for the things that we need for the weekend. Look, there's little baby Yoda. So I have gotten the laminating pouches that I need. Just waiting for the laminating machine to do its thing of heating up, and then I'm just gonna laminate the things that I definitely need for tomorrow, and then from that point I will laminate the rest of them because I still need to cut it all out. But yeah, for tomorrow I just want to make sure everything is ready. Hi, hello. So I'm just kind of jumped out of the shower. I'm gonna be leaving pretty much soon to go and have some breakfast because I am hungry. but I figured let's do a quick little update before anything really happens. So today my boyfriend and I are at my house. We're going to be painting the rest of my shelves, the grey colour that the big shelf is at the moment. But I figured I'd also do a little bit of a reading update because I have one for you. I am 100 pages into Spin the Dawn and I'm really liking it so far. I'm hoping to maybe get to page 150, or even if I'm feeling super ambitious, because I literally have nothing to do this weekend, to get to page 200, which is about halfway through the book. I'll be very happy to do that because I plan on reading another 100 pages tomorrow and then like another 50 during the week, well, the last little bit during the week. I still need to read House of Earth and Blood. I'm so bad with this, but the goal for today is to get to page 400. I'm on page 250, so it's 150 pages that I need to read, and I feel like I could do that. I just need to sit down and read, and that is the plan for this weekend, is to paint the shelves. They're not going to be stacked today, they'll probably be stacked tomorrow if the painting goes well, but is to paint the shelves and read. That is what I've been wanting to do for a couple of weekends now, and it's always just been a bit too busy, but I want to sit and read because I really like it, and I'm really getting back into the groove of reading physically, not just listening to audiobooks, which does seem to be the case. Hi, hello, happy Sunday. I hope that you're doing well. I just wanted to pop in and talk about kind of just like a reading update, if you will. The first things first, I'm reading Spin the Dawn. I'm reading this very actively, I would like to say. I'm on page 258 and I actually want to finish this today. I feel like I can do it. I only have like 130-ish pages left to go. All it really needs from me and my side is like a smidge of concentration, and I feel like I can finish this today, and I would really like to. I'm really liking the story. I do think that the beginning is a little bit more of a compelling start than the middle. The middle is kind of completely different from what I thought the story would end up being, which is nice. It's fun. It does add like a little extra element to it, so I'm interested to keep reading and see where it goes. I did also plan on finishing Blinkerkeys and Balls of Board. I am on page 102 and I only have like 50 pages left to read of this. Most of it will then be like poems and just drama pieces. So I do want to finish this so that I can maybe review it this coming week or something along those lines. I'm not too sure as of yet, but I do want to wrap this book up. And then obviously we have this book. I haven't read anything in this, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm not going to pick up another physical book this week until I've finished this, because I feel like what I'm doing, as I'm pretty sure you can see, with picking that up more than what I want to pick this up. And I felt the same way when I originally read this. Like the beginning, it's just so world building. You kind of want to read other books in between, but I do want to get to the point where I actually finish it this coming week, which is the first full week in June, and I don't want to read this in my week off. I just want to finish it up this week, and hopefully that does come to fruition. Let's cross our fingers though. But yeah, that is the reading update I have for you right now. My boyfriend and I did paint my shelf, the one shelf, yesterday. Today is such a lovely day. I wish we were outside, but we're gonna finish up the other shelves, and then I need to add some of the books onto my book catalog and things like that. Definitely going to be a process, but I have faith that we'll manage just fine. Hi, hello. I have basically tied up my hair for convenience, but hi, hello. It's been a minute. My boyfriend has gone to go climb now, so my plan for whilst he is gone is to finish Spin the Dawn. I am on page 353 right now, and I have 34 pages left to read, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish that off now. And then I'm going to also finish Blinkerkeys and Balls of Board, as I mentioned earlier today. I probably won't pick up Crescent City. Hi, hello. So I have finished both of these books and let's talk about them, I guess. So I have given Spin the Dawn 4 stars. I really like this. I think for what it is, which is a YA light fantasy read, it's perfect. You know, you have this lush world which you have gods and goddesses, and you have like a war between two nations, and it all depends on a tailor. And I really like the concept. I think the dresses in here are pretty cool. I do think that the beginning sets you up for something completely different, and then, you know, you get to the middle and you're like, what? So there is that like unexpectedness of what's going to happen. I thought most of this book would take place in the court of the kingdom, and it didn't. Our main character had to go on a journey, and I really liked that. I did think that the love aspect was a little like off and then on all of a sudden. It wasn't insta, because like she didn't like stare at him and was like, I love you now. She was more like apprehensive, and then all of a sudden when they were on the trip, she was like, actually I might like this guy, and then like two minutes later they're like, I love you. So that was a little underdeveloped for me personally, But I think regardless, I really like this. I really like the simplicity of it. I'm really happy I picked it up. I probably would not have picked it up at all if I didn't have some of my friends just choose like random numbers. So this was picked by Leora, and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars as mentioned. Would I recommend this? Yes. If you're looking for something light, easy breezy, something to get through quite quickly. I mean, this is nearly 400 pages, and I probably could have finished it in a day. The writing is easy to get into, and as I said, the plot just really flows well. I know that some people might find this not what you expect it to be, and I think the best is to kind of just go in open-minded. I wouldn't really rely on what the synopsis is saying, because the synopsis kind of puts it at a higher stake level than what it really felt for me. I mean, you can definitely feel the stake of like the competition and the journey she has to go on. Like you can understand that, but I feel like that isn't in the forefront of our author's mind when she was writing this book. It was more so to do with, you know, more, just more. Okay. And then I gave this 3 stars. I know 3 stars isn't great, but I think that this would be an amazing resource for young readers, for young Afrikaans readers, for young readers who are taking Afrikaans. The work, this thing is literally a plethora of resources and sources that they can use for either reading something in class, because I remember from high school, I don't know if they still do that, it's been like 5 years, but you know, where you have to read a passage from your own book. You could never really read from the set work because that would be a little unfair. And there's like drama pieces. If you're like a drama student and you want to do an Afrikaans piece with like 2 or 3 people, this is a great place to go. I think there's several collections like this, and I think these are fantastic for young readers who don't want to get too sucked in to a intense Afrikaans novel, or they're just looking for something really easy to do schoolwork on or to practice the Afrikaans. This is the place to be. That's the reading for today. I am about to sit down, hunker down, and add all of like the millions of books that I have gotten from May. Actually, I think I might just have coffee with my mom first because she's just responded to me. I'm gonna have coffee with my mom, and then I am going to add everything to my catalog and probably get a little bit of painting started so that we can get to the big shelf today, hopefully, because I do not want to be painting these shelves for any longer than I need to be. And that's the update I have for you right now. I might read again a bit later, and then in which case I'll pick up Crescent City and maybe read the 50 pages I've been meaning to read for the past like week or so. Hi, hello, happy Monday. Can't believe it's a new week. Honestly, I am exhausted and it's barely started, but that's okay. It's just the Monday blues is what I'm calling them at the moment. It's just because it's winter and I'm like really in the mood to sleep in later, but it is what it is. I figured I would pop in, give you a bit of an update on what is happening. As mentioned yesterday, I plan on reading Crescent City until it's done, except I can't do that because I agreed to do a buddy read which starts from today, but that's okay, it's something completely separate. The focus will still be on Crescent City. I'm on page 390 at the moment. I do plan on reading to page 400 today. My initial goal was 350, but I'm happy with like the 100 pages that I've managed to read so far, or like the just off 100 pages to read. And then the buddy read that I'm starting is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is a borrowed copy, so it's going to be interesting to say the least. I don't know what to expect. I just know that it's going to be an intense but interesting ride, perhaps. I'm hoping that if I do enjoy this enough that I will then get myself a physical copy of it and reread it and annotate if need be. I'm reading this with Roseanne, who I'll have linked down below if you want to check her out. And then lastly, I got some book mail today, which is The Vegan Vampire and Other Fantastic Fiction. I have read the Afrikaans, like an Afrikaans collection similar to this, which was also compiled by Mariette Nell, and I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's a great resource for if you're in the classroom, if you're a student who need literature piece that you need to read or you need to refer to. This is great. This is more middle grade, I will say. Do keep it in mind with Afrikaans. You could get away with it because if you're not native, then that's fine. Or you don't go to an Afrikaans school, then that's also fine. These also include drama pieces, so if you do drama, these might help you with group pieces and stuff like that. Talking about reading, finished Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa B. This is the second book in the Something Sister series. It's a duology, and I like this one. I gave it 4 stars. I think it covers really important topics about identities that are imposed upon us and how we sometimes embrace that identity and how sometimes we impose those identities on ourselves without like the external forces, and how we can overcome that. That's what this book felt more of like a message like book than the first book was kind of just like airy and everything, and I really liked it because of what it was, which is just like a really easy romance. But this one really hit closer to the core about, you know, being more true to yourself than what people believe you to be and what you originally believe yourself to be, and it's okay to go and explore different parts of your personality that you maybe don't think are dominant and things like that. And then after I finished that, which was good, I gave Hook, Line and Sinker 4 stars, I started listening to The Savage and the Swan. It is interesting. It is a fantasy book that pulls from a lot of fairy tales, and I think the way in which the fairy tales are mixed and matched in this is really cool. It is actually just a smut book and a fae romance. I don't know, I feel like that says enough. But for now, I'm gonna do some reading. I'm gonna finish the last like 10ish pages that I need to read in Crescent City, and then I'm gonna start the pages that I need for this book. I have about an hour-ish, maybe more like 40 minutes before I have to leave, and then I need to end up on page 50. I think we said we would finish to the nearest chapter ending, but we'll see how it goes. I will just read until I can't anymore because I have to go, something like that. Good morning, happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. Obviously today I am working from home. The plan is to finish cutting up all of the things I need for the props and hopefully get some of it laminated or, you know, heat pressed or whatever, like just get the plastic on it essentially. But in addition to that, obviously I have my personal like goals for the day in terms of reading and otherwise. So for reading, I want to at least get to page 450 into Crescent City. I'm on page 400 right now, so it's only like 40ish pages that I have to read. Obviously it would be great if I read more than that, but I'm not going to be a stickler if I only read the 40 odd pages to get to page 450. Like I just need to make some sort of slow progress. Obviously the faster I read it, the quicker I finish it, but you know, those are them things. I also haven't read The Secret History as of yet. I still need to read, I think, the 50ish pages for today. I'm just gonna clarify where we're gonna end and just say I didn't get the chance to read it last night because one, we only technically really discussed starting it yesterday in the sense of how many pages we're gonna read, and from what I can see, like it is a long chapter. Oh my gosh, chapter 2 is like 60 pages. So if we are reading 50 pages to the nearest chapter ending, it will take us to page 114. So I'm gonna see up until where we're actually going to be reading to so that I can make an informed decision. This is like a 600-page book, dude. Oh my gosh. Insane. So that's the plan for today. I'm also going to finish listening to Savage and the Swan. I only have like an hour maybe left of that, I think. I actually don't know. I'm busy with my phone right now. And then after that, I'll probably watch Bridgerton season 2. That is the series I'm going to be focusing on this week. Those episodes are like an hour long though. So we'll see how that all goes. That is kind of the update I have for you this fine morning. Hello, happy Saturday. I hope that you're all doing very, very well. A little bit of a reading update. I have finally finished Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. Fantastic. I think I'm going to stick with my 4-star rating. I haven't put it through call pile as of yet. I really liked the reread of this. I think it's a little bit more revealing and a little bit nicer to reread this book than to read it for the first time, which is not necessarily something you want to hear, but I liked seeing the connections that could possibly relate to her other books, and found that I just liked reading it again. I thought it was fun. It had been so long. I think it's been exactly like 2 years since I've read this, and I quite enjoyed how most of it actually still felt like a mystery to me. I knew like some things happened, but I couldn't remember or place them properly, and it was nice to reread it. Did I feel as emotionally impacted in the first half as I did in the second half? No, but I did enjoy reading this nonetheless. It does make me a little bit nervous to jump into House of Sky and Breath just because it's equally as long if not longer, but I'll probably jump into that next month sometime. Just give myself some time to really absorb what happened in this book. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Regardless, I think this is a great start of a series. I keep that sentiment. I do think that it's long-winded. A lot of people complain about the length. Not a lot happens in the beginning, but a lot of world building does take place. A lot of placing your footing in the world. I don't know how long the series is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be as long as the Throne of Glass series, or if it's just going to be a trilogy, or whatever the case is. I think that this is still good regardless. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the reveals and everything. Big fan, big fan. Then I'm obviously reading The Secret History with Roseanne. I am currently on page 150. Today we are reading to page 190, and then the big stretches start towards the end of the book. So far, my feelings are this is a very slow-paced book. I'm liking the pace in which we are reading it, which is not to consume it all in one go. The chunks do feel heavy. The writing is very lush and very academic. It feels like reading a proper classic to me, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. I think it's interesting. We've got this mystery element. We start off the first page with knowing that one of the characters is dead or is going to die, and every couple or so pages you forget that he is going to die, and then the narrator just brings it back into the forefront. Is like, this all happened before blah blah blah. Obviously a little bit more crafty than the way I put it, but I really am enjoying it. I am intrigued to see what I will give it at the end of this. There are some big stretches coming on along, like 150 to 200 pages stretches, so we'll see how that all goes. The next book I'm jumping into is Her Majesty's Royal Coven. I am planning on reading this with a colleague of mine from work, so I need to get to page like 50 something today. The writing is massive in this, by the way, so I don't think it will be difficult to read. I plan to read about 50 pages of this a day until the end, which will hopefully be in the upcoming week. Hi, hello, I am officially back at the house. It's taken me all morning essentially to go from my house to see my boyfriend to then drop off stuff for work, but I'm finally back and I'm prepared to just sit down, relax and read a little bit. So these are the two books I'll be reading. So obviously I am reading up until I think chapter 5 now. Yeah, so I'm reading chapter 4 today, and that's about like 40-ish pages that I need to read, so it's not too bad. So I'm going to read this a bit later though, because right now my focus is to get started on Her Majesty's Royal Coven. I'm also buddy reading this one. As mentioned, I'm reading it with someone from work, so today I need to get about 50 pages in, which will be obviously the goal. I completely forgot to pack sticky tabs though, so I'm going to be using the ones I used for Crescent City, which are paper, and I don't actually like them. But right now I have my cup of coffee and some good books, and I am just going to relax before I do some work a bit later for my assignment. Hi, hello, happy Sunday. I hope that you are doing well. I thought I'd quickly pop on here and update you. So yesterday I tried to A, do my assignment, and then B, also maybe edit the February vlog. Try to turn on my laptop. It would not. I think it's safe to say that it died, which is unfortunate, but I will be discussing with my mom and dad the option of getting a new one. But for now I've started up my computer, although it sounds like I need to just restart it. It sounds like it's having a little bit of something stuck in the fan. Let's talk about the books, or like the reading updates I can give you. I finished reading Fracture Me and Juliet's journals yesterday. I haven't rated them as of yet, but I'll do that today now that my computer is on. I was gonna do it yesterday when I had my laptop, but didn't really work out. I can finally read the next book, so that should be Ignite Me, which is the last in this trilogy. So far I'm liking it. I don't think the short stories are great, because they really are just short stories. They provide some context. Is it necessary? I don't really think so, but it is fun nonetheless to read. I'll probably read Ignite Me next month. I am supposed to start Sword of Destiny, I think yesterday. I haven't as of yet. I don't know if I'm gonna start it today. I do want to get some of my assignment done, but I'm probably gonna try and read this during this upcoming week. And then with The Secret History, I'm gonna be reading that now actually. I'm on page 162, and then for the end of chapter 4 I need to get to 192, so that's just 30 odd pages to read. It does take a while because the writing is a bit of a thing to get into, but I just need to do it. The first the 10 pages that I read were actually pretty easy, and I did that standing, so I might as well just read this. Her Majesty's Royal Coven, I have a little bit more to tell you about this. I am on page 100. I will be reading to page 150 today. The writing is huge, so the pages really do go by quickly. So it's just up until there, and that's what I do plan on reading. So far we've been introduced to our friend group, or at least 3 or 4 of the characters in the friend group. They're all witches, they all know they're witches, and they're all adults, and they're trying to navigate their adult life through loss and work and everything. And then something happens where basically prophecy comes about that the apocalypse is nigh. That's what the book is so far about. Not much has happened. I do like Neve the most in this. This is coming out in July, so it comes out next month, and then I get to start Broken Halos today. I think I might do this a bit later, just because it is only 200 pages, and I feel like if I read 50 I might as well just try and finish it if it's good. So it's definitely a bit later than I intended it to be, but I'm gonna get to working on my assignment right now. But I figured I would talk a bit more about The Secret History. So far, keeping in mind I'm 200 pages in pretty much. I'm on page 192, and honestly not a lot is happening at the moment. I like this book. I don't love it. I don't think it's amazing. I would put this down right now if I could, but I'm buddy reading it. There is just nothing that is pulling me towards this book beyond the buddy read that I'm experiencing right now. And the reason is that our main character is such an observer, which understand people go through those stages in their lives where they tend to observe more than they act. But I feel like everything is happening to everyone around this character and nothing really is happening to this character. There was a moment where something happened to him, was really empathetic towards that situation. Regardless of that, it just seems like he is waiting for life to meet him not even halfway at his doorstep, and he's expecting the people who are in these classes with him to involve him in everything. And I understand that this is, you know, a reflection upon the main character Richard's time at university, and he does comment on the fact as mysterious as the group seems to him, he seemed that way to the group, and he's realized that now, that, you know, he didn't take initiative enough and didn't get involved enough from the get-go to be involved in everything that they do. And I am glad that he had that reflection, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the moment our character is just observing and he's just going through flows of life, which is all good and fine, but I feel like something just happened. But once again, it's him being told about something that happened. He didn't experience it, he wasn't there to witness it, he's just being told about it. So that is my take on The Secret History so far. Hi, hello, happy Monday, I hope you're doing great. So this is the start of my week off, but obviously first things first, I have to do my assignment. So what I'm planning on doing today is working pretty much the whole day. It's about 9 o'clock right now. I'm going to work for about an hour and a half, and then I'm getting my eyes tested. It's my yearly test. I was supposed to do it earlier, but work things and life and stuff in general, so like now is the better time to actually go do it. So I'm gonna do that today, which will be fun to see. I know my prescription is gonna go up, which is exciting. I haven't read since Saturday, or like yesterday morning really, so I'm planning on reading these two today as well as The Secret History, which is like over there. So I have to read about 100 pages of this, which I don't think will be a crazy feat to do. I think it will be quite quick. I need to be on page 200. It's about the halfway mark, I would say, and then I need to read 100 pages of this, but as said, I might just finish it depending on how things go. I will try, but we'll see how things unfold. It's been a bit of some time since I have spoken to you, giving you a little bit of an update regarding everything. So please do excuse the fact that I'm drinking some hot chocolate. It is so freezing in my room at the moment, but I don't want to say halfway, but in terms of like how far and like how many things there are to do, I am roughly halfway. It is 4 o'clock. I've just finished chapter 1, which included background, purpose, objective, and assumptions. And then I've already done my timetable, and then it's just really just chapter 3, which is just the research, design, and methodology, research instruments, and then procedure and limitations to the research there. So like I am kind of halfway, but kind of not really either. So we'll see how that all goes. But I've been to the optometrist and I am getting some new frames, which is exciting. So like in regards of everything, it's going great. Happy Tuesday, I hope that you're doing well. So today I have a reading challenge for myself, and that is to read for 24 hours. I'm not going to be starting now though, simply because I actually have some work to do, like my actual job work to do. I need to cut up some stuff, laminate them, recut them, glue them together, and then I need to go make some Play-Doh, and then I can take that off to my office and call it a week, and then not think about it for the next week or so. To talk about my assignment, I submitted it. I finished a lot earlier than I expected to. I handed it in at about 10 to 9, and I was like, you know, like, I will obviously be expanding on what I've already written once I have actually done the reading of the books. But I think for now that is sufficient enough. And then as I will expand, like especially on the literature review part, I will add in more. I'm allowed to. It's my paper, so I've got some reading that I can do, a lot of PDF, and I'll probably do that over the next couple of weeks, kind of maybe do one a day and just go through and highlight things that I can possibly use. I have put it onto my OneDrive so I can use it on my iPad because, as we all know now, my laptop died, so sadness, but it is what it is. I'm hopefully going to get a new one within the next month or so. We'll see how life pans out. In terms of the reading challenge of reading for 24 hours, I will be keeping it in this vlog, A. B, I will be doing reels for it and TikToks. This is a stack that I will be reading. These are the books that I'm planning on reading for this week in any case. We'll see. So with The Secret History, we'll start at the top of the pile. I need to read chapter 5, which is basically from page 192 to page 309, essentially. So that is what I'll read today in this book within those 24 hours. I will probably log in here and like update you and say I'm going to be starting that. I will be doing a stopwatch and not a timer, simply because I'm going, every time I do something else, like I don't know, go and eat or watch something, I want to stop the time. I physically want to be reading for 24 hours. I then plan to read Sword of Destiny, and I want to get to page 131, which is here, which I feel is doable. This is, I think, once again, a collection of short stories that take place before Blood of Elves. I want to try and read Blood of Elves next month. I don't know, I'm getting quite into like intense fantasy, but I do want to continue on with the series. So that's the plan. I do want to read more of this today so that I can actually get it started. I'm finding that I'm not just starting it. I don't know if I'll get to Dune today. These two books are not priority, so I'll put them aside for now. Broken Halos, I want to actually read and finish this in today. It will be so nice to just read a book and finish it. I've been doing a lot of 50 pages a day kind of thing, and I might try for July to not do that. It does allow me to read more, but I think beyond the buddy reads, I'm going to try and just sit down and finish a book. I might actually just start with that book to get the things going, and then I obviously have Her Majesty's Royal covered as a buddy read. So yesterday I had to read to page 150. Didn't get there. Today I need to read to page 200, which is pretty much halfway through the book. So that's the plan. I might read more of it, I might not. We'll see how it goes. With these two books, this is a buddy read, so this is more for this week than anything else. But if I can get a start on Dune and read about 50-ish pages of this, I will be happy. Hi, hello, happy Wednesday. I cannot believe it's already Wednesday. I've come back to basically say I have not started reading at all. I didn't read a single thing yesterday, which I think is like the perfect example of what my life is right now. It's like a whole bunch of plans that I have that just don't always happen when I plan for them to happen. And it is what it is. I really don't mind it, but sometimes I'm just like, just go to plan. But it's okay. I'm still off for the rest of the week, so I'm not like too stressed. So today I am going to start the 24-hour readathon. As I said, I want to read a full 24 hours of reading, like actually sitting and reading full 24 hours. I'm going to start in like at 9 o'clock, so I will check in with you a bit later when I have more to say, but I think let's get the show on the road. Can't anymore. I read for an hour today, and I read an hour on this book. I'm on page 122 right now, and I just can't anymore. It is not great. It's not terrible. I'm very conflicted on this book itself. So our author is South African, which is why I really wanted to read it. It was by a South African author. I'm really trying to get back to the roots of supporting locally and starting up my Local is Lacquer series once more. Except this book is not great. It follows two characters who are on American soil. Her sources are television, which I have no problem with. I have no problem with writers something that they don't really know too well. I have no problem with writing what you do know at all. Like, I don't mind either. But the pacing in this book is completely awful. Our main character is a person who escaped from a human trafficking situation, and the other character is a Marine who has just returned from basically fighting in Iraq. And I don't want to even say more. I just can't keep reading it. I made it 100 pages and I don't like it. I'm not liking the characters. I feel like it's very jumpy. The pacing is so off. We're constantly jumping between scenes, and there's a lot of flashbacks, and there's a lot of like but we don't know enough about, like, I don't know, it just wasn't working for me. I'm gonna DNF that, and I will probably pick up Her Majesty's Royal cover now. I have to leave in about 10-ish minutes to go to my pet sitting, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep reading this because I do want to make some progress in this today. That would be great, and just continue on with my 24 hours of reading. But that book and I aren't gelling, and it's making me feel like bad because I requested it because it sounded cool, and now I don't like it at all. But yeah, I'm gonna pick up Her Majesty's Royal Coven and I will check in with you afterwards, I guess. Tuesday. I can't believe it's already Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. It is almost the end of the month. I haven't even posted my TBR to Instagram, so I might do that today. I didn't add that to my to-do list. I need to get back into posting. I say this every time I come on here, but sometimes I get a really good flow, other times I just really don't. I need to post my June TBR so that can go up. Obviously, I don't think I'm gonna finish it. I might just, because I'm pet sitting this weekend from like 9 till about 6, and that means I'll have the whole day to just sit and read, and maybe I'll power through some of the books I have. Obviously, talking about the books that I'm reading, let's talk about today's reading plans. So I need to finish Her Majesty's Royal Coven today. I am on page 350. I have 100 pages left to read, and I might as well do it today, you know? That and my buddy read partner, who I was reading this with, is actually already done. I'm enjoying the story. I definitely think this is more YA, like the content and the way it's been written is very YA. It is following adult characters, and it does maybe have like small adult themes, but it's a very low fantasy, set in our real world, you know, just with some witches and warlocks. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I think it does definitely approach some really, really important topics, so I'm excited to continue reading this and finishing it off today. In terms of the secret history, my buddy and I have decided to put it down for the last like a week of this month basically, and just pick it back up in July. But I am a chapter behind. This is just a very long chapter, and I just cannot read this whole thing. But I'm gonna try, and maybe on the weekend when I do have that time, just read up until that point, just so I'm caught up, and when we do pick up again, I'm not still playing catch up. Then I started another buddy read, of which I'm also already behind on, but it is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I am going to read to page 50 today, to the end of the chapter. I don't know what page that ends up landing us on, but I am going to play catch up with this because I need to actually see what page they're on for today. We're doing 2 chapters a day, and we started last week Thursday, so I'm going to try and play catch up by reading about 50 pages a day. But also, you may have noticed that I have some new glasses on my face. I decided to get new frames. I really did like the old frames that I had, but they were just so flimsy. There were so many parts that were connected by screws, and so those screws constantly had to be replaced, and like the part here that like sits on your nose was the rubber pieces that get put in, and so those wore away quite quickly, because you know, every time you put them up and take them off and stuff, it kind of like rubs against the rubber and then loosens them and stuff like that. So they were not very comfortable in the last little stretch of having them, but I'm really happy with these. These are quite nice. I like the lighter frames. I think it's definitely not in my face as much, but I really like them. I mean, I'm gonna enjoy wearing them for the next 2 years of my life, but it's very exciting. And yeah, so today I have some work to do. Obviously, that's why I'm at home, I'm working. So today I need to finish cutting out all of these like wands and hats. Those are the last things I need to do. I need to go collect film that I had developed, and it was ready last week. I also need to go and collect some secondhand books that I am buying, so I need to go withdraw money and buy those. I need to get back some keys, get paid, and do some reading. I do have a lot of money coming in the July financial month period, which is like the 25th to 25th, so I want to budget a bit more this month. I also have decided that I want to start buying things for when I leave. A lot of the things in my flat do belong to me. I mean, the table, all of the things basically here do belong to me, but I need more. I need like cutlery, I need crockery, like that kind of stuff. So I want to start getting those things on hand, so that when I do leave the house, I don't have to worry about that and buying like a proper fridge and a dishwasher and a washing machine and a whatever, you know, like those are like huge purchases. So I want to buy the small things so that they don't add up at that point in time when I do leave. Yes, it does mean that if I do choose to leave the country, I'll have a lot of things to get rid of, but I feel like that's something very easily done, especially since most of the stuff will be new if I do decide to leave. And then yeah, that's the plan. I do feel like I need to sort out my shelves, but I don't think there's gonna be time for it today, which is okay, I'm just gonna do the best that I can and get to cutting. I'm probably gonna be watching Chicago Fire. That's my current like binge show where I just sit here at home cutting the stuff and doing the stuff, and I just watch the show because it's so easy to do. But yeah, that's kind of the plans for today. Hello, hi, I hope you're doing well. What can I tell you? My hair is looking so nice. This last week it didn't look great, but like I love my little curl. And it's long, like my hair hasn't been this long since before the pandemic. I think 2019, that was the last time my hair was remotely longer than, like, that's how much it's grown in like 2 years, keeping in mind that for like 2 years, or 3 years actually, yeah, it's 3 years, I actually kept my hair short for 2 years, like this short, and then I grew it a little bit, and then I kept it this length for a little bit, so it's actually grown a lot. But that's not why we're here. Let's talk reading. I still need to finish Her Majesty's Royal Covenant. I thought this morning what I would do is I would wake up and I would read the last 50 pages quickly before I started work. Did not go according to plan, but I am planning on finishing that book today. I have 50 pages left to read, and then it's done. Then it's dusted. Hi, hello, happy Saturday. It's been a bit of a minute. I am currently just pet sitting for the day essentially. So I decided today what I'll do is I will sit and read as much as I possibly can. I have some reading to catch up on and books I want to try and power through before the end of the month. I finished Her Majesty's Royal Covenant. I gave it 3 stars, and it's not like the book is terrible. I think it's a great book. I think it shares an important message, but I think it's important to note that this book is very YA. I would in fact not say it's anywhere near adult fantasy, and I would rather say it's perfect for young adults who are about 16 to 18. It does follow older people, like these are people, the characters are all in their 40s, but the actual content might be more appropriate, more accessible for younger readers actually, which might be a bit surprising, I know, but I'm interested to see how the rest of the series will continue. The book is in some ways cliche, but it is what it is. I did enjoy reading it. It's a really fast-paced book, even though it's like 400 plus pages. It's fast-paced, it really gets going, and it's enjoyable, and I think that's what reading should always be. I am currently reading The Secret History. I'm reading this with Roseanne, and she has read to chapter 6, which is kind of where we are gonna end off for this month and pick up again next month, but I haven't gotten there yet, so I am currently catching up on it, and hopefully we'll do so today and not have to worry about it until we pick it up again. I'm thinking that we might just need to break up the chapters a bit more, because you can't just go according to a chapter, especially if they're like 200 pages long like chapter 5 is. And then once that is done, I am going to pick up one of the other 3 books I brought with me. I only brought 4. So hi, it is quite later than I last updated you, but I figured why not just do it now. I have been trying to read The Secret History the whole of today, and I have just come to the conclusion that I no longer care. I made it to page 238, which means I read about 50 pages in the last couple of hours that I've been here, and I have been constantly trying to do something other than read this book. So that just means one thing: I have come to realize that I just don't care. And when I don't care about something, I don't want to read it anymore. I don't care about the characters. I think the story is great. It's got some beautiful moments, like the writing is so beautiful sometimes, but I just don't care about the characters, and this is a character-driven story, and I don't care what happens to them. I'm gonna DNF this book. I made it to page 238, which I think is a lot further than I probably would have if I had read it on my own. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not see the hype with this book. I don't know if it's just, wrong time. I do like the Tart's writing. I do have the Goldfinch at home, so maybe I'll read that one day, and I will probably try and read that over like several months or something, because reading this like every day, or like trying to read this every day, is just not nice. So I'm gonna take a bit of a break. I don't know when the power is supposed to go out, but we're supposed to be load shedding sitting the house that I'm pet sitting at, but I'm gonna give it like 20-30 minutes and then I'm gonna pick up The Vegan Vampire. I feel like something really easy to read, and that is really easy to read before I think I'm gonna continue reading the 5th season. Good morning, happy Tuesday. Today is my first work from home day where I have a laptop to actually work from, so I'm not just gonna be sitting and cutting things out. I'm actually gonna be doing physical work, which is great. I'm very excited for that. Hello, so it is currently 8:30. I've been working since about 7 o'clock. Whilst my computer has been struggling through the cold, like me, I'm wearing like as many layers as I can. I'm about to move the heater is like right here. I'm just gonna use the heater here because I am freezing. My fingertips are like burning a little bit, so that's how you know it's cold. But in the meantime, I have started setting up my bullet journal. So I do have a series tracker in here. And I had a series tracker in here. Like the difference in like the look of it, it just looks cleaner with the dotted lines. I was very not happy to have a blank bullet journal just because I don't write straight. It's nice to have some sort of lines. I don't want the hard lines because they tend to be darker, and I like the softer tone. I do miss the dot journals that Typo used to do, and I still can't believe that they say that there wasn't enough interest in it, because I'm like, that feels like a lie. I did get a book from work yesterday, which I am so excited about. I got a proof as well, but I haven't read the proof. But it's for When Women Were Dragons, and with it I got this incredible like print, which is just the cover, which is fantastic. And then somewhere I do have a signed book plate that I can put in. So it's like a signed book. Obviously book plates are so like different from having your book physically signed, but you take what you can get in South Africa where there's not a lot of authors. Honestly, I'm hoping to get as much done as I possibly can today. Hi, hello. So I am currently on lunch. I just started basically making myself some more coffee because it's still cold and I need it. But anyways, I'm sitting down because I'm going to be reading during my lunchtime. So the first thing I will be reading is the 5th season. I need to read to page 100. I'm currently on page 60, so not much to it in my opinion. Obviously it's like 100 plus to the end of the chapter, whatever it is. And then I'm going to get a start on Babel. So from what I can guess, my friend who I'm reading this with, Roseanne, who also got a proof, she got an e-arc, and I've got a proof. She is about 11% in, which is about 50 pages. So depending on how it goes, I'm gonna read about 100 pages of this today. That's the plan. I want to kind of get into it and just read it. I do want to annotate it, but I don't have the sticky notes that I want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dog ear the pages so that when the order I have that I'm going to place where the bubblegum fringe comes in, I can just replace those with the correct sticky tabs. They have like these dark vibey ones, like dark fall ones. I think that will work so really well with the aesthetics of this book, or what I think the aesthetics of this book will be. And yeah, I just want to have those. So I'm gonna be ordering, I'm gonna be ordering quite a bit of those, maybe 8 or 9 of those so that I can have a lot of them for other books, because a lot of the fantasy books I want to have more of the darker sticky tabs for. I do have like brighter sticky tabs that I'll use for like books that I don't really want to care too much about the aesthetic of the photos or whatever I have of it. So you might be thinking, Mel, what are you doing in front of your PC at nearly 4:30? Well, I have work to finish and it needs to be done today, which is it's not ideal, I know. And a lot of people would disagree, but this work just needs to get done, and I'd rather sit here getting it done in my spare time than sitting at work tomorrow stressing about the fact that it was supposed to be done today or whatever, or that people are just like sitting there waiting on me. So that is my feelings. I'll talk about a bit more about it in a second. Let me just log in and get going. Okay, so I'm making a quick cup of coffee. The power's out, so I've had to do it like old school style by boiling water in a pot. So give me a second. So yesterday at the Pick and Pay I stopped at for food, they had the Nescafe like cappuccino sachets on special for 3 for 2. So I got some. They're not the cheapest things in the world, but they are total delicacies and I love them. It is something that I would love to have in the office on a more permanent basis for myself, just because A, it is easy to make, and B, it just tastes so good. So I am making it in quite a big cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I make it just a bit stronger, because I do like the creaminess of it, but sometimes when you make big cups it's not super strong. So I just add like just a little bit, like less than a full teaspoon of coffee. So I've been using like this super mini pot that's like perfect for one person, just because I literally am one person and I don't want to boil like that much water constantly, and I can't use the kettle with the inverter. So fun facts. I might have poured a little bit too much milk in there, but that's okay. And then at the exact same big pan, I bought some biscotti. So let's go and enjoy that whilst we have a quick discussion about today. Okay, so back to the topic of me currently doing work. I don't think you should work outside of your hours unless, you know, you have the opportunity to be compensated for it. Hands down, don't mind at all if that ever happens. However, I am not getting compensated for this time, but people are relying on me, and my partner, my boyfriend, would completely disagree with me working right now. He knows I am, but he doesn't like it, and I understand why, and I won't make this a habit. It's just this week has been a lot of finalities, a lot of, you know, this is the end of something, so just finish it up real quick, even if it does mean doing it at home when I should be enjoying free time. And honestly, it is what it is. I can't argue with that. And I do want to show the company that I'm interning at. I'm trying to show Jonathan Ball that I can work hard, and I know that when there's a deadline, I don't mind putting in the extra work. This is not an everyday occurrence. I won't sit here every day work my butt off until the middle of the night. Like, that's never my intention, and it will never be that. But when there's like a time and a place for everything. That is my conclusion. I'm just gonna finish off some work. I think it will take me hopefully not more than an hour left to do. It's just adding some stuff, and then whatever else I need to finish, I'll just finish off tomorrow morning. I do need to rush to the office tomorrow morning, like early, because I said I would take stuff today so that I could work from home tomorrow, and I just forgot about it. This morning was just such a rushed situation that I didn't know what to do with myself. I am going to do some work. I will catch up with you a bit later.